what can you tell us about this Nightcrawler as Spider-Man? I'm intrigued.
It's a lot of fun. So the way that this had to be, so again, 2 steps back. The X-Men have been going through a very unusual years-long phase. We call it the Krakoan era. They've got their own nation. They're sort of a superpower on the political stage. That's all going through some of its biggest crises very soon. Inevitably, after 3 years of this massive paradigm changing, status quo ignoring stuff, new readers are going to be like, well, I kind of want to jump aboard, but do I have to read 3 years of stuff? So the challenge when coming up with a new book is always to find the ways that it can be immediately enjoyed, but which also pays a lot of respect to all that stored up fictional energy and which progresses the story in a certain way. So I've spent the last 2 years telling stories with Nightcrawler that are all very strange and I think quite good. But we don't desperately need to have read them to have come to this point. What we need to know is that he's been sort of framed for a series of murders, and he's on his own. He's an outlaw. And for reasons that will become clear in the book, one of the ways that he thought it would be clever to hide out while still being useful is to pull on a Spidey mask and bamf around New York. Now, what's actually going on is that he's just having fun. Like, for the first time in his life, he's a character who's well known for being thoughtful, spiritual. He's always prepared to self-sacrifice for any reason. He's like one of the most good, decent, purely righteous humans in all of comicdom. And the irony being that he looks the least human out of all of those characters. And yet now he's sort of swinging around Manhattan, saving people from muggers, swashbuckling, just having fun. And that's great, because that's something I've never been able to write before. I've never been given the opportunity, because people see my name and they think he's that weirdo 1990s Vertigo cerebral guy. Let's give him the horror stuff. Let's give him the wanky religious nonsense. So for a change, I get to write the sort of the big, dumb, bold, heroing stuff. That said, it being me, and I don't know that this has ever been done before, so I'm quite proud of this. It gradually becomes clear that he's using street-level superheroing as a displacement mechanism. It's essentially, without going too far into spoiler territory, it's a story about post-traumatic stress and what you do when you're traumatized. And in a world like Marvel, with a character like Nightcrawler, one thing you can do when you're traumatized is swing around Manhattan beating up muggers. And that seems like a smart bit of therapy for him. But of course, it can't last. So it's a story about escaping from responsibility and embracing responsibility, and the different ways that you can try to help the world. You can either help it on the micro level, or you can embrace a sort of broader polity level responsibility, which is what he's running from. So anyway, again, waffle. There's lots of bamfing, there's lots of punching, there's lots of sexy times, and there's lots of pizza. So yeah, it's a real giggle.